My feelings about the Germans were mixed. On the one hand, you felt sorry for their situation, and then you remembered the war machine that they'd been part of. With their society torn to pieces, good people could cooperate and lift themselves up. But those without scruples also had plenty of opportunity to take advantage of the weak. It was the Wild West. July 1945. The war didn't end with a bang for me, but with a shuddering halt in a city that no longer looked like a city. Coming from the green fields of the American zone, Berlin felt like landing on the moon. It was a gray, jagged landscape of skeleton houses, buildings with no faces, only hollow eye sockets where windows used to be. The smell hit me first, a thick, sweet, cloying scent of lime, dust, and something much darker buried beneath the bricks. We'd seen ruins in France. We'd seen broken towns in the Rhineland. But Berlin? Berlin was different. It wasn't just destroyed, it was liquidated. You could look through a block of buildings and see the sky on the other side. It felt like walking through the ribs of a dead giant. The first thing I noticed wasn't the soldiers, it was the women. They were everywhere, a silent army in floral headscarves and wooden clogs. With the men either dead, captured, or broken, the survival of Berlin rested on the shoulders of the Trümmerfrauen, the rubble women. There were no machines, no bulldozers, just lines of women reaching as far as the eye could see. They stood in cooperative chains, passing pails of debris from the top of five-story ruin down to the street. You'd see a grandmother, maybe 70 years old, chipping mortar off a brick, intent on doing it well. She was making a difference and was proud of it. The few men we see are lethargic and confused. They seem as though they've been robbed of their masculinity and are ashamed. By Allied decree, every woman between 15 and 50 was mobilized. For 9 hours a day, they reclaimed their city, brick by single brick. Their pay? A few Pfennige, and a slightly better ration card. The difference between starving and just being hungry. The Russian boys were tough, dirty, smelling of cheap tobacco, vodka, and grease. But then you'd see their women. They're competent, well-trained, and self-confident. They had female soldiers directing traffic at the intersections with little flags. They were striking, cheeks flushed, uniform tailored tight, medals pinned to their chests. They looked like they could outshoot any man in the regiment. It was a hell of a contrast to the girl next door posters we had back home. These women had seen the gates of Moscow and the fire of Stalingrad. Like every GI with a jeep and an afternoon off, I headed for the Wilhelmstrasse, the Reich Chancellery. Once the heart of Hitler's power, which was now a playground for souvenir hunters. The Ivan, guarding the Chancellery's main entrance, salutes, checks our military passes, and tells us that the Chancellery is a restricted area. Slipping him a pack of lucky strikes, he looks at our passes one more time, and then waves us through. Walking through the entrance corridor and then the marble gallery, it's obvious that no expense was spared in building the Chancellery. But now it just feels like a massive mausoleum. We passed through the Ehrenhof of the Chancellery, which was a ceremonial courtyard and symbolic entrance and reception area for official functions. This is where foreign leaders were usually filmed during state visits. There's all kinds of evidence of battle damage, including destroyed vehicles, discarded military equipment, and the walls are riddled with bullet holes. We then move to the garden area of the Chancellery and can see the entrance of the famous Führerbunker, but it's securely closed up. Gesturing at Ivan to come over, we point to it, but he wags his finger no. He then motions us to go over towards its entrance, past what used to be an ornamental pond. Is he maybe looking for cigarettes? He points to a burned-out bomb crater and says, "Hitler," and then makes a gesture like a match striking. That was it. The man who set the world on fire ended as a pile of ash in a wheelbarrow-sized hole in his own garden. We tried to bribe our way into the bunker, but Ivan wasn't interested. How did I feel? Just a strange, hollow sort of disgust. I lit a cigarette, stared into the pool for a moment, and wondered what would become of the Germans. To escape the stench of death, we headed out of the city center to the Strandbad Wannsee. It was once one of the most popular lake beaches in Europe, but since Germany's surrender, had become an American oasis. The beaches are lined with long brick galleries. It looks like something out of a World's Fair. Only when you look closer, you see the pockmarks, machine gun spray on the columns, a few smashed windows up in the restaurant. But the sand? The sand doesn't care about the war. It's just hot and white, exactly like back home. If you closed your eyes at Wannsee, you could almost forget where you were. The sun was hot, the water was blue, and the sound of the wind in the pines was better than any symphony. We'd sit on the sand with our K-rations, watching the girls in their revealing two-piece swimsuits. For a few hours, we weren't conquerors or occupiers. We were just kids on summer vacation. But then you'd look at the horizon and see the smoke rising from the city center, and the spell would break. If you like productions like this created from primary historical sources, please take the time to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Patreon supporters get regular access to exclusive footage that can't be shown here. Open a free account on our website military1945.com and stay informed. Thanks for watching.